Hello, everybody. Here's another edition, and Happy New Year, by the way. Another edition of my boxing predictions. Alright, so this Saturday we were so lucky that we have actually four fights to talk about. That's right, people. Well, I would like to begin maybe with not the biggest one first, how they actually usually do it. So this is in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, Capital One Arena. Well, first, this is an interesting fight. Jaron Ennis versus Karen Chukadzian. This is for the interim IBF welterweight champion of the world. So Jaron Ennis, the Mr. Boots, yeah, he is 29-0 with 27 knockouts. Just an amazing record He has. Yes, but this is well, aside from knocking out Sergey Lipinets and maybe Thomas Warman, who was kind of already, past it. That's pretty much all he has of, noteworthy victories. And Chukadzian, he's a fighter from Kiev, actually, Ukraine, but he lives in Germany, lucky for him. And he's 21-0, one loss on points, but that was in his second fight already, which was actually the fight of a Super 8 Super welterweight tournament. That's interesting. It took place in Kiev in 2015, so he lost on split decision there in 3 rounds. Right. But it's not a real loss, it was a 3-rounder only. But this guy, well, yeah, he has 11 knockouts, but has stopped some guys that are not so bad anyway. Ryan Martin. And yeah, a few others. I know, I know, and you know also that he's just, there. He's there to lose, basically, in this fight against Ennis. He's a big underdog, and this is happening. This will take place in Washington, while DC Ennis is from Philadelphia, which is not that far away. So this is good. We haven't had a really great Philadelphia fighter for a while, since Bernard Hopkins, I guess. That city used to have such a great tradition. Well, anyway, I think, Boots is such a hard hitter and has been so impressive, so I cannot see him, doing anything else but winning by a knockout here also. But probably this will go a little, further than the first 6 rounds, because he's actually all of his knockouts come within 6 rounds. Wow. And only 2 of them actually are in 6-round knockouts. So Ennis, I think, will probably win. Even though I think I do give Chukadzian a slight chance to go the distance, but he's definitely a good fighter in almost the same height as Ennis. He's a really tall welterweight, 5'10". So who knows? Maybe this will go the distance, but yeah, maybe. But I still think that Ennis really has a big chance to score a knockout, but not in the first half. I would say probably not before like round 8 or something like that. So anyway, Ennis wins this fight. Anyway, you have it, the outcome. Alright, and then we got a fight between Demetrius Andrade and Demond Nicholson at 168, actually. So Andrade, Andrade, sorry, is no longer the WBO middleweight champion. So yeah, he actually hadn't had a fight last year at all. So this is why he's coming back as a super middleweight now, right? All right. So we know those facts, and let's go predicting. Yeah, Demond Nicholson has just been, on the slide in his last few fights, and I mean he won the last three fights, but before that he lost to Edgar Berlanga, and he was stopped by Jesse Hart. That was a while ago, but still, he just doesn't have anything special to show in his you know, last few years, and he's now, well, he's still relatively young at 29, but I mean, I can't see him, especially since Andrade hasn't fought for so long. I can see Nicholson giving him a tough fight, but I have no doubt that Andrade will win this fight. Yeah, maybe not by stoppage, but on points, yeah, probably, most likely. Andrade is still just too good for Nicholson, yeah. But Nicholson, as I said, is good enough to give him a fight, at least, yeah. So Andrade will likely win on points, but I'm not totally excluding a stoppage victory, but think it's more likely that he wins on points here because he has been out of the ring for a while. Probably is rusty now and all that stuff. Fighting at 168 for the first time, we don't know how hard he will hit at this weight. So yeah, that's the thing. And before we go to the main fight, there's one more, which is a welterweight also between Rashidi Ellis and Roiman Villa. Yes, Rashidi Ellis is a new name in the welterweight ranks. Yes, he's also a tall welterweight, 5'9", and a 72-inch reach. 24-0 with 15 KOs. Not a really big puncher, that means usually. But a guy who knows, if he lands enough, he can stop you. While Mr. Actually, his name is Roiman. That's really unusual. Not Roman. Yeah, he's a big puncher. He's got 24 KOs in 25 wins. Wow. He actually is from Venezuela, but he lives in Colombia. So, or actually, no. Well, this must be a mistake. He says birthplace Venezuela, Rosario, and residence Rosario, Venezuela, but at nationality they put Colombia there. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, that's not so important. His only loss came to Marcos Villasana, who obviously is the son of the older 80s fighter, a really good contender in featherweight, super featherweight division. So that was on split decision in 2019. So he's won his last 6 fights. Yes, so this he's not in a good position fighting away in America against a young new, well, not so young, he's 29, but he's still rather new guy, Ellis, who seems to be a really good more technical kind of fighter, a boxer. Yes. Yes, definitely. So this has also written an Ellis victory on points written all over it. Yeah, definitely. I don't think Ellis will stop Villa because he hasn't been stopped yet, and Ellis hasn't stopped a good fighter to put it that way yet. That was in his prime also. So yeah, I think Ellis wins on points. And finally, yes, finally we got the main fight: Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia. All right, Mr. Tank Davis, 27-0, 25 knockouts. Just amazing fighter, yeah. I mean, oof, wow. And I mean, guy who looks like a kid, just 5'5", baby faced, all that, but he hits like, a train and got real good. Of course, he's got the athleticism, reflexes. He's got not just the power. He knows when to throw the perfect punch. He knows how to defend himself, to box when needed. Yeah, I mean, so far he's only been really, taken. Let's put it away. So far, he's only really struggled against one guy. That was Isaac Cruz. That was his only tough fight. All right, he had a really tough fight because everybody else he just rolled over, more or less steamrolled over. So this is. But this guy Hector Garcia is somebody who can give him another tough fight. 16-0, 10 knockouts. So before he moved up to lightweight, he was one of the best super featherweights. And Davis also is a former super featherweight, of course. And so actually, Garcia has a big height advantage. Wow. But not in reach, but in height he's like almost 4 inches taller. So we'll see. I don't know if um, I don't know if Tank has fought anybody that tall yet. I don't think so. But maybe. But the main problem is that this guy is not a fighter. He's a boxer. If you understand what I mean, he's not a brawler. He's a boxer. He can, he's a technician, but also a guy who can brawl when he has to, and he's not. He's just like one of those boxers that I used to love, like Juan Guzman from the same country, Dominican Republic, or Humberto Soto. Those guys were all slick, clever, but they also loved a good brawl. Actually, yeah, they didn't engage. They were not like Floyd Mayweather Jr. or somebody like that. Yeah, who stink their opponents out. So this promises to be one heck of a fight, people. 12 rounds fight, no titles at stake because Gervonta, even though he actually, I don't know if he still holds that. Maybe not the WBA lightweight title, but it's not at stake here anyway. Yeah. You know what's funny? He actually seems to hold both the lightweight and light welterweight versions of the WBA title. That's pretty out there, right? Amazing. And he was also WBA champion at super featherweight twice. Wow. And the IBF champion at super. Wow. So this guy is just, he's, once he retires, he's going to the Hall of Fame, no doubt of that. No. But what I expect to happen here? Yeah, that's a good question. I expect this to be pretty much like a Cruz fight, except maybe Cruz is a bit more maybe aggressive and harder here. I don't know. Maybe I say, yeah, probably a little more, yeah. But still, Garcia is not, a feather-fisted guy either. So even though he hasn't really beaten anybody who is worth something by a stoppage, so we can exclude him winning here by a knockout. That's pretty safe, I guess. Even though you never know, but here's one good example, for instance. Lonnie Beasley, a guy, a boxer, a slickster. He was considered to be, feather-fisted. He knocked out Charles Brewer with one punch. So that's what happens sometimes. It just happens to land at that worst spot, for the guy who receives it anyway. So, but I don't think this will happen here anyway. These were little bigger guys. So, when it comes to bigger guys, it's easier for them to hit hard, of course, than smaller guys. So, what happens here? I don't know actually. Also, probably Gervonta will even have to go the distance here, because he nearly had to go the distance against Mario Barrios, even though that was a 140, but anyway. And yeah, we have seen that unless you try to rush him, and like Rolly Romero did, that was the last fight of Tank. You can do pretty well. I mean, you can last distance and all, like Isaac Cruz, who didn't try to just knock him out like Rolly Romero, even though Romero perhaps had a reason to believe he could do that because he has the power, but still, if you don't try to knock out Gervonta, but just stick to your plan, you have a good game plan, you wait for your openings, you counter him, you jab. That's pretty good. You have to jab. Romero didn't really jab in that fight. He would have probably done even better had he jabbed more. So Garcia, I expect will jab and just look to beat him to the punch and outland Gervonta, and yeah, but still it's hard. Gervonta is just he's a machine. He's just too much of everything. So, but I definitely see Garcia posing a challenge, there, and it will be a good competitive fight. But it's hard to see Davis lose to Garcia. Still, this is Garcia's first fight at 135. Also, even though it's not such a big, difference, but you know. So I expect actually. I see either maybe a late stoppage for Davis, like round 11 or something, 12, or a points victory for him. But it will not be an easy one, definitely. Even if a stoppage happens, it will not. Doesn't mean I expect him to just dominate all the way. No, I don't. Well, anyway, I think Garcia is clever enough to last the distance, definitely. But to win, that's another thing. I mean, it may well happen. Even a draw is kind of not totally inconceivable. But yeah, anyway, it will be I hope, a really good fight to watch. So I've already spent too much time here, so I better finish. Thank you for watching, all of you. See you. Bye bye.